Hi, this is Marjorie Dybeck with the Dybeck team at Douglas Elliman Real Estate. So today I thought we should talk about co-ops and condos. It's often the very first question I have with a new buyer, and there's a lot of confusion surrounding what a co-op really is and when to buy one and when to buy a condo, etc. So I thought I would address this issue. So when you buy a condo, you're buying real property. Very similarly to when you buy a house outside of New York City, like a freestanding property, you're buying real bricks and mortar, you're buying real square footage. In fact, in a condominium, there's usually an official square footage for the unit listed in the original offering plan for the building. And it's very clear cut about, what you're physically buying. And the loan that you get for a condo is called a mortgage, and you hold a title or deed to define your ownership of that property. When you buy a co-op, however, you are buying shares of stock in a corporation, not dissimilar from when you buy shares of Apple or Amazon stock. You're buying actual shares. You're not buying physical property. You're buying shares of stock. So when you buy that stock, in order to grant you the right to live in that property, the co-op board will make a determination if they want to admit you into their co-op, and assuming that they do, they will issue you what's known as a proprietary lease. And so the shares of stock that you'll have a stock certificate, so the shares of stock that you hold, and in combination with the proprietary lease, will give you the right to inhabit that apartment that you've purchased. And the loan that you hold when you buy a co-op is not called a mortgage, it's called a loan and a note. And it's usually at a slightly higher rate, not always, but usually. And so those two documents are what defines the ownership of that property. A co-op board will almost always put some restrictions on subletting, because in order to maintain the financial health of the co-op corporation, they can't have a disproportionately high percentage of non-owner occupied units. And so even if a co-op board advertises that they're investor friendly or easy sublet policy, at such a point that a balance tips more towards investors, they usually will change their policy about subletting. So if you are someone like many of our buyers today who are defining their search with the long-term goal of being able to hold this property for a very long time and to be able to have flexibility of use, no matter how your life changes, you want to hang on to this property and use it as a pied-a-terre, use it as a primary residence, maybe rent it out for several years at a time, maybe have a relative live in it for a while. Any of that sort of long-term, I'd like to use this property however I want to use it, that flexibility use of desire really means that you should focus primarily on condo purchases. Condos in our market tend to cost a little bit more because there's fewer of them, and there's a lot of demand for them. And they also tend to be our more modern inventory. So if you want like a fireplace or charm, you're probably going to end up going more towards the co-op market. So hopefully this was helpful. We want to really thank you for watching our videos. Feel free to share it with anybody else you know who might be thinking of buying right now. And just keep in mind that the Dybeck team is always here for you. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks so much.